So you need to rotate the bottom of the lining so you can lengthen the center back seam but maintain the side seam length. And I would raise here as well, so there's a little bit of overlap. Hi, I'm Jin. Welcome to Pattern Studio 101. Today, we're going to talk about Pant. You see them all the time in tailored garments, but they are often overlooked when it comes to pattern making. In this video, I'll break down everything you need to know clearly and practically so you can draft the Pant with confidence. First, what is a vent in fashion? A vent is a small opening in a garment that helps with movement, comfort, and fit. And sometimes it's there for just style as well. For the same purpose, you can also use a slit. From a pattern drafting and sewing perspective, a slit is much easier. It's basically just a visible cut. Very straightforward. A vent, however, is more structured. It has an extension, a facing, and usually interact with the lining. Because of this, the vent stays closed when you are standing still and opens only when you move. That's why vents are so common in tailored pieces. The length and width of a vent can vary depending on the design. But from a pattern making point of view, the drafting logic is always the same. Once you understand one, you can apply it to many different garments. Alright, let's take a look at some patterns. When you see patterns like this, you know this blazer has a side vent. The vent is on the princess seam, and the back body piece is on top, the upper layer. The side body has an extension, which is underlayer. For the sleeve vent, the top sleeve is on top, and the undersleeve has an extension. These two examples are very obvious which layer should be on top and which layer should be at the bottom. Okay, then, when you make the center back vent on the blazers or skirt, you need to decide which side will be on top. So you make the facing to the top side and make an extension to the bottom one. Commonly, wearer's left side is over the right side, but that is not the rule, so you can make it the other way. For today's example, the wearer's left side will be up, left side over the right side. You can make patterns like this. If you make the self pattern like this, you're going to make lining patterns like this in red because you are going to fold the left side, so you have to cut out the lining. For the right side, this area is going to be the underlayer here. So you need the lining, the same shape, to cover the underside. But when you cut the fabric, lining should be flipped because you're going to cut the fabric from the right side of the fabric and the right side of the lining. It should be cut this way. So when you stitch up, the self and lining meet wrong side together, right? So this is going to be the wearer's left side, and this is going to be the wearer's left side. And these two are the wearer's right side. In this case, the wearer's right side has double the width. Because you're going to fold this line, this area will be the facing of the underlayer. In this case, your lining is going to be like this. The left side is going to be the same. Because you're going to fold this line, you need to cut out the lining, the same shape of this fold area. For the right side, however, you already have this area to fold. The lining doesn't have to cover this underlayer. So it's going to be just a straight line. The same idea, the lining patterns should be flipped because we are going to cut the fabric and lining on the right side, the face side. So these two are set for the left side, wearer's left side, and these two are the set of the wearer's right side. One more thing you need to keep in mind. When you make a vent on the back body like this, or the sleeve vent or skirt, this all the same. You have to lengthen the lining above the vent. So in this case, this length from the center back neck to the vent. The lining should be longer than the self. Otherwise, you're going to see the pulling when you stitch up the garment. At least 1.5 centimeter, it's about half of an inch, to 2.5 centimeter, like 1 inch. It should be longer. It's not only for the blazer. If you have vent on the sleeve, when you compare the sleeve outseam, lining should be longer than the self. If you make the skirt the same from the waist to where the vent starts, lining should be longer than the self. Okay, to do that, you cannot make lining like this. Now center back is longer, but the side seam is also longer. But you have to keep the side seam length the same between self and lining, right? So you need to rotate the bottom of the lining so you can lengthen the center back seam, but maintain the side seam length. And I would raise here as well, so there's a little bit of overlap. This process is really important when you make a vent. No matter what kind of garment, sleeve, skirt, or dresses, if you make a vent, the lining should be longer than the self, so it's not pulling when you wear the garment. Hey, did you know I have a masterclass all about pants balance? I'll walk you through how to draft a solid pants base frame and how to fix balance issues, especially if you're working with existing patterns. So many fit problems can be solved just by understanding pant balance. If you're tired of guessing and want real clarity, head over to patternstudio101.com and check it out. You do not want to miss this.